shall begin with our lecture on topic 3, since we are in week 4 this week, um, which is privacy under the social issues in IT. Okay? So the perspective that we look at this topic is from our individual or personal aspect of a social issues. Okay? Next topic, we'll look at the community uh, aspect of IT perspective. Ini lebih banyak kepada individu dan how we manage our data while using online applications or mobile applications nowadays. As we can see, we on a daily basis, definitely we use a lot of online application, financial, online banking, online shopping, online learning, and we use a lot of applications available which require some sort of registration or data management. So basically, this topic talks about that issues and what are the perspectives that we need to look upon while using the internet or online. Yeah? Which is definitely you are probably expert user than me in this matter, because most nowadays semua online, it's semua online. Okay. Alright, so the chapter outline ni kita ada about 5 subtopics: the privacy and personal information, impact of computer technology currently, privacy risk, risk protecting privacy and communication privacy, risk of a new technology, computer error and failure. Alright, sebenarnya the extensive of our usage online nowadays compared to 10 years ago definitely, brings definitely a lot changes, a lot different compared to 10 years ago. Not to mention compared to 15 years ago. In fact, 10 years ago, 2010 pun banyak dah start online. Banyak dah start online. And then cuma bezanya mungkin masa tu government punya agency tak se-extensive online macam sekarang. Especially for the past 6 years ni memang definitely banyak application, even though for government agency pun banyak dah berubah ke online. Ini sedikit kata-kata ada petikan daripada Al-Quran. So, alright, you can take a moment and read it. Banyaklah benda yang kita boleh kaitkan dengan privacy kan. Contoh yang paling lazim ni, kalau tak pasti jangan kongsi. Itu antara catchphrase catchphrase yang selalu kita dengar. Alright. Okay, we go to the first section, which is the subtopic, privacy and personal information. So privacy, kalau secara normalnya, privacy is some sort of boundaries, yang kita set antara kita dengan orang lain. Dalam rumah pun kita ada privacy setting kita. We have sets of privacy kita. Contohnya, paling dalam neighborhood, in our neighborhood, we have our mungkin pagar, that's our boundaries of privacy or hak milik. Kalau orang dulu-dulu dia pakai pokok ke penanda ke as the boundaries of privacy or belonging of the property. So kalau dalam rumah pun kita ada privacy setting between parents and children among children as well. So privacy is the ability of an individual or group to seclude themselves, to separate themselves from others. Okay? What are the things they usually share and what are the things that cannot share? So the things that they share, they could be physical things or non-physical things. Non-physical things is probably something that you keep private to yourself. You keep secret to yourself. Only you and the person you trust sahaja yang tahu. That is privacy. Okay. Of course, you choose it selectively. Yes. Pemilihan tu memang kena selektif. Those who are you entrust to, yang dipercayai tu, yang dipercayai. When something is private to a person, it usually means that something is inherently special or sensitive to them. Something that belongs to you, you keep it private, so it's sensitive. So that's why orang kata privacy ni is a sensitive issue. Okay? My family is my privacy. I keep it to my privacy. I don't share with other people. Okay? The state of being private is the privacy. Privacy is the state of being private. Where you seclude yourself, you asingkan daripada pengetahuan orang lain. Things that you don't share with other people. Okay? That is seclusion. Or retirement. Benda yang you asingkan. Benda yang you keep. Untuk diasingkan daripada pengetahuan orang lain. So all privacy is the state of being free from intrusion or disturbance. Benda yang kamu tak nak orang lain ganggu. So that's why you put boundaries. Physically, you put boundaries. Or non-physical boundaries, you put certain constraint or restriction that you're not going to talk about something. You're not going to share about something. You're not going to discuss about something. That is also another type of privacy. And privacy is personal rights or individual rights. And we have to respect other people's decision to make it private. Okay. Alright, there are three aspects of privacy. The first one is free from intrusion. Okay, free from intrusion, pencerobohan. Kita nak orang lain ceroboh, kita nak orang lain ketahui. Kedua, control of information about oneself. How you manage your information. So that's why it is important for you to know what are the data that you use while you're, using those applications online and how you manage them. And of course, the third one is freedom from surveillance. Yeah? Free from people tracking you, your movement. Sometimes your movement people don't want to know because kalau dalam military aspect movement tu sangat secretive sebab daripada movement tu ada strategi. Okay? Strategi tu termasuklah strategi nak serang hendak tu. Okay, strategi serang hendak di kawasan hutan berbeza dengan strategi serang hendak di dalam kampung contohnya. So that's why surveillance ni, pemerhatian through CCTV or traffic punya surveillance sangat-sangat satellite surveillance. That's why setengah orang dia nak elak daripada penggunaan satellite ni because to avoid tracking. Okay, itu antara contohnya lah. But kita commoners ni, there are sections of issues yang we have to manage and aware that we able to manage our privacy, data privacy data management. Contohnya ada dekat sini, the section is health. Health must be kept private, especially kalau kamu dah mula bekerja besok. Kadang kita tak boleh nak tahu orang tu makan ubat apa. Sebab daripada ubat tu kita tahu what kind of treatment do they get. Or what kind of illness that they have. So why? Because sometimes people don't want to be distracted by their punya condition that people may see them as lack in something because of health condition. Supaya tak nak create prejudice lah antara staff among employees. Alright. In relationships also, you can keep it as private. Your family, something that relationship and family ni usually related to honor and dignity. Pride, honor and dignity lah. So there are certain things that we can share to others and certain things that we keep to ourselves. Health, medical information macam saya cakap tadi, religious belief, yeah, especially kalau dekat Malaysia ni it's a norm, where majority is Muslim. Okay, but when you go to other countries, sometimes they don't really talk about religion that much. Yeah. All right, somebody just make a funny DP. Yeah, so it's kind of distracted me. All right. It also includes daripada religious to also sama juga dengan political view. Yeah. Um, these two basically in some organization or some country or some places they really don't want to talk about it. Yeah? They don't really talk about it, and we try to avoid to talk about it, especially in an organization bila dah kerja besok lah. Why? Because it cause discomfort. Dia mungkin boleh menyebabkan ketidakselesaan while you doing your job. So you have to be very professional in that sense lah. They are supposed to be keep it down lah. Kalau kat Malaysia ni mungkin religious tu mungkin tak ada isu lah, but political issue tu mungkin ada lah. So keep it to your own lah. So there are two reasons why we must keep it importance. The importance of privacy ni ada dua. Satu ialah safety, kedua ialah security. Safety is basically the condition that we want to control for being harmful. Harmful hazard tak semesti secara physical, but it also affect emotional. It also affect mental. It also affect spiritual. Okay, so that is safety means yang mana kita nak protect the conditions of our state, self state tu, supaya dia tak, it's protected from harm or non-desirable outcome. Spiritually, mentally, physically. Okay. The second is security. Security basically we want to avoid outside factors that could harm us pula. Okay. So we probably we put restrictions. Okay, we put constraints. We put boundaries. Okay. All right. And then also we want to keep ourselves from being watched or being tracked down. Okay. Why? Because definitely who likes to be tracked down, kan? Siapa yang suka diperhatikan? Because it's totally menyalahi individual rights lah. Especially kalau without our consent. Kalau without our consent, then definitely it's violate the individual rights. So there are 4 threats. Yeah. On privacy. The first one is intentional institutional uses of personal information. So that's why sometimes kalaupun kamu dah masuk di alam pekerjaan besok, you must aware that how well the organisation manage the staff's information. Okay. How well they keep. Adakah mereka distribute sesuka hati tanpa ada restriction, tanpa ada protocol, tanpa ada policy. Okay. So you have to watch out in that kind of situation. Some institution ni pun kadang-kadang dia lack of awareness. So you must sentiasa aware on how you keep your privacy. And then if there's something that you need to voice out or raise out, yes, you can ask the right person about the condition that you are uncomfortable of. And then the threat of unauthorized use or release, penggunaan ataupun distribution. And of course the third one, theft of information. So bila ada leakage, bila ada unauthorized use, definitely there are leakage and the possibility to have some sort of theft of information might happen. Okay. So the fourth one, inadvertent leakage of information through negligence or carelessness of our own action. Sometimes bila kita guna komputer dekat lab kan, kita biarkan, kita dah lah pakai cloud, right? Contohnya Google account. We did, bila dapat guna tu kita tak log out. to keep it like that. And we used to simpan all kind of assessment, assignment, homework there. Somebody may take it negligent. Because of that negligence, we have to bear consequences. So so that awareness kena datang daripada oneself. Okay? Alright, ni because currently because of internet, the accessibility is easier, cheaper and faster. Okay? And the information can come from many forms. Okay? Image, graphics, text, documents and so on and so forth. Okay? People can just, collect, search. Ini, um, so next, our activity dalam internet is basically all recorded. Even though you look for you use the search query, so everything that you type in is actually recorded. Okay? And then of course it's huge amount of data, and that's why kita kena increase awareness while using the internet, because the possibility of leaking of information is there. And then people can use collections of many small items of information. So lama-lama it will be abundance of information, even though it's just for one or two items. Tapi dia ada banyak dia punya collection dia. Re-identification, people might use your information for their reasons. They can easily violate. And then demand for sensitive personal data, availability of information. Yang ni you boleh baca kat dalam textbooks ni. So these are the activity yang possibly happen every time we do the search query on the internet, because the database does keep it. Right? So when the new technology came, maka new risk will come as well. So sekarang ni kita accessibility on GPS, GPS, biometric. In fact, dekat Instagram tu, the face app, what we call it, saya pun ada try juga tu, where you can superimpose. Superimpose is a very classic term. What are the term nowadays? Can everybody tahu siapa yang boleh deepfake, what we call it? The application yang kita take from a clip of a movie, and then you can just put your face in there and looks like real, and it's smooth. Siapa tahu deepfake deepfake tu, that app saya lupa dah. I've tried it last time, lupa dah.
Face app.
Face app. Yes.
Jadi tua.
You change you change Angelina Jolie in Maleficent face. You change the Cinderella face, and then you have that click, that face application tu. Last time saya cuba, lupa dah. Okay, so it's from that point of your face can be detected, and once it's detected, stored, it definitely can be replicated. Okay, so itu yang kita nak avoid lah. Alright, so next is ini actually kan the slide is very long, but I try to keep it as nak break down into lectures. It will take some time, so nanti saya akan pause lah sekejap. Alright, next ni ialah on subtopics on terminology and principles for data collection and use. Alright, with many applications online. You have Twitter, you have YouTube, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have whatever yang you pakai tu online, including research kit lah, macam-macam. Secara tak langsung, your information is travelling invisibly inside the internet. So you don't know how far your data travels. Okay? Your data travels into the internet, or somebody is in internet is collecting them. So we don't know. Since we are not the keeper, we don't own the database. So uh, when something happens, you know, nasib baiklah kita ni bukan selebriti kan. Kalau selebriti tu mungkin kita dah buat akaun palsu menggunakan gambar selebriti, ataupun orang lain pun menggunakan DP nama lain DP kita, content sensitive. So what we're going to do about that? So, and then kalau kita aware tak apa, mungkin kita tak aware, and then your friend see, I have found a DP that look like you in some place. Is that really you? You don't know. You don't know where. So that's why kalau boleh, make it private, make it selective, especially kalau macam Facebook tu, you betul-betul filter who's among your friend. Okay? Instagram tu, you control dari segi who's going to look at your punya Instagram. Unless you're public figure, then yeah, you can make it public. Alright, and then because of the abundance of information in the internet, that people don't know that the data being used, so the data is being used as secondary data. People can use it again and again. So that's what we call it, secondary use. Yeah? And then we don't know. We don't give consent because we don't know. Okay? So this abundance of information that we use for secondary use ni, ada bidang dia. So satunya of course data mining, kedua computer matching, another one computer profiling. Especially kalau you shopping online, shopping online, when you use health application, then computer matching and profiling is one of the recent topic lah. Of course data mining as well. And then it will repack you punya data tu into something new package. So data mining, searching and analyzing masses of data to find pattern and develop new information of knowledge. So data mining. So kamu akan belajar data mining, tak silap saya. Ke kamu dah belajar data mining? ISP 565 ke?
Tengah belajar.
Tengah belajar? Alright, good. So another one is computer matching, is combining and comparing information from different databases and use as identifiers such as social security number to match records. That's why government agency kena betul-betul jaga dari segi security, data security of user ni. Especially contohnya MySejahtera kan, they have abundance of data. The third one is computer profiling, ini pun menarik juga kalau nak buat projek lah, tapi kamu pun dah ada projek masing-masing kan. Computer profiling, analyzing data in computer files to determine characteristic of people. Businesses use this technique to grab new customers. So kalau kamu biasa guna Lazada dan juga Shopee, you will see lah how your profile is being used, and from the activity that you use inside that application Shopee contohnya, you boleh nampak the patterns of usage and you start promote lah items that related to your search punya keywords, search, you punya search. So that is alright. The next thing is privacy principle. Ini pun ada juga lah sebanyak ni so you can see here. Inform people when personally identifiable information. Maksudnya bagi tahu bila information kamu akan dikutip, bagaimana ianya digunakan dan untuk apa. So that's why kalau most of application dia akan tanya perkara pertama yang kena ada, especially kalau contohnya e-commerce, dia kena ada personal privacy, ataupun kita panggil privacy policy. And then you can agree, give some sort of agreement, consent that when you upload, your data will be used. So you can aware juga about tu. Usually most application will ask about that. Okay. And then kalau you give consent, you are you are okay with that. So collect only data needed, keep data only as long as needed, develop policy for responding to law enforcement request for data. Kena ada dia punya policy kalau ada permintaan request for data, especially kalau jabatan kerajaan. Usually we don't, that's why sekarang banyak scam kan. Oh, kami daripada jabatan jabatan lembaga hasil dalam negeri, lembaga hasil. Kami dapati kalau they call you over the phone, definitely there's something wrong. Usually jabatan kerajaan, they don't do that. Okay? Alright. Offer for people to opt out. Ada opt-in, kalau macam tadi, kalau you dah give consent, you agree with the policy and terms, you know your data will be collected, that is opt-in. Definitely you're able to opt out. You know, when able to opt out, usually your data should be protected, because if not, you boleh kalau disalah guna, dibukti, terbukti salah guna, dan you boleh ambil tindakan undang-undang lah, terutamanya negara kita pun dah ada akta akta personal information privacy, akta kita panggil itu akta 709 2010. I think around 2000 above 2005 lah, kita dah banyak activity online where informations can be easily easily collect and easily access from the internet. And 2010 kita dah ada akta untuk Personal Privacy Information Act. And then to maintain accuracy of data. So that is the principle for personal information. Yang ni not only from personal perspective, but kita nak buat sistem pun besok, contohnya nak buat e-commerce ke apa tu, kita kena consider this personal data information management untuk kita manage kita punya application. So example for government database with personal information, macam-macam lah. Marriage, divorce record, tax record, medical record, property, welfare, motor registrations, house property ownership, and so on. Itu yang dikatakan ada akta perlindungan data peribadi 2010. Yang ini akta dalam negara lah. Kalau rujuk dalam buku textbook tu, dia banyak ambil contoh-contoh daripada USA, daripada Amerika. Okay, ini baru masuk second subtopic ni, impact of computer technology. Yang ni saya akan briefly because definitely you know the impact or you can think of the impact. The first is communications. So communication is widespread, easily widespread, 24 hours a day. And not only that, you can attach anything, documents, movie, any types of data that you can share in the internet. Alright? And then you can use macam sini streaming, you can use voice over, and so on and so forth. Okay, fast access, 24 hours a day. Okay, business transactions, adalah limits dari segi cash, dari segi punya financial abilities, but the transaction is limitless, especially done business internationally, where the business transaction is kalau kat sini siang, kat sana malam, kat sana siang, kat sini malam. So the transaction can be happen on every hour, 24 hours. Shopping online, you do better than me, I guess. Some of you probably an entrepreneur, SME. Okay. So these are the impacts. In fact, research activity sekarang ni berbanding dengan 15 tahun lepas, sekarang ni lebih advanced. You can get many databases, especially those who yang contohnya Scopus, Google Scholar, Worlds of Science, macam-macam jenis publisher yang have this assessment And we also have tools like Mendeley, just to name a few, like Atlas TI. So many tools that support research papers and publications where you can look on the papers easily without have to go to the library. So during my time, buat degree, I have to go to library. Library pula kalau nak online, kalau nak journal, kita ada journal tapi dalam bentuk buku lah. Physical book. Kita tak boleh nak bawa balik, bilik. Nowadays, you can just download, tunggu tinggal nak baca je. You see, dari segi accessibility, sekarang to do research is far, far advanced. So, mulalah people take for granted because it's so easy. That's why nak pergi library lah. Kecuali for the aircon lah. Alright, education also dengan augmented reality, virtual reality. Sekarang ni PDPR pun, adik-adik kita pun, kalau saya anak-anak lah, dah start online cikgu pun very advanced using this technology. Recreation not to mention, entertainment, meeting people like right now we're doing. Our platforms of learning no longer rely on face-to-face but also on online. Okay. The third subtopics is privacy risk. Of course, any advancements, they definitely risk. Hence, it must be managed well kept, well managed. Okay? So we look at what are the types of risk that affect. Okay, basically, there are two types of risk. The first one is risk to the individual as a result of contraventions of their rights in relations to privacy or loss or damage, misuse or abuse of their personal information. That is risiko pertama. Risk to the individual as a result of contraventions of their rights. Kedua is risk to the organisation as a result of perceived harm to privacy, a failure to meet public expectation, retrospective impositions of regulatory conditions, kita tak ada history ataupun previous case that require some sort of regulatory rules, condition, low adaptation rates or poor participant in the scheme from both public and partner of organisation, the cost of redesigning, and so on and so forth. So there are the two types lah. The first individual and the second is organisation. And when you look at the context dalam marketing, when you do business, marketing business, the way we find new customers nowadays is much broader than previously. Agent insurance able to promote the policies online, and in fact together customers to meet new customers online, and able to communicate with all policy holder to continue dia punya policy and so on and so forth. So business use computer technology to store, analyze customer purchase, financial information, online activity. So you can use this, what we call it, technology between your customer and how they purchase your item. Itu dalam business contact lah. Dan macam-macam lagi lah, mailing list, macam-macam lah. Ini saya continue personalize. Ini you boleh baca nanti. Alright, next is data firms and customer profile. So company that maintain huge customer database, collect data from huge number of sources and build personal profile. Actually, memang ada lah juga, transaction of data to buy this customer profile and put it into a database. Supposedly in any transaction of that, They should have, I believe they have contracts to keep that the data only meant for that purposes. Tapi I'm not sure how we use it here in Malaysia. So example tools yang ada, software yang ada is Axiom and ChoicePoint. So these firms sell data to business for marketing and customer management. Ini kita ambil example daripada textbook. Memang ada company yang jual data. And then of course location tracking pun ada. Once you use the app, definitely you allow it to use from your phone numbers, and you allow it to use secara what we call it online. Then you allow able to do the tracking. Kalau you pakai RFID device pun, RFID ke, cell phone ke, GPS ke, then it will have some sort of risk despite the ease of use yang kita dapat daripada application tersebut. Okay. So konteks yang kita guna mungkin traffic, driving, ataupun dalam hospital patient where you put some sort of devices on them. Yeah. Dan juga inventory when you have that barcode and the package movement in data store, huge data warehouse akan guna lah. So location tracking. Kalau macam dekat US ni dia ambil contoh macam truck besar ni ya, truck besar, they travel across the USA in days, in days, and the loading item tu very precious item lah, expensive items. You need to keep tracks of this truck, the movement, because the journey takes quite far. So kalau US tu dia akan buat guna location tracking ni lah. I think kita pun banyak juga location tracking, siapa yang JNT, post laju, definitely they have this device as well. Yang ni RFID, touch and go, wallets and so on and so forth. Definitely there are these nanti baca lah ya. Stolen and lost data, especially berkaitan dengan identity, self-identity. My card kita tu pun precious kalau ikutkan, very precious, because we can use multiple application or multiple purpose for just using that my card. You punya identity card, credit card, personal information, especially when you do online transactions. The risk of stolen and lost data is there. Nanti yang ni you baca lah details lah. Penalty for business, government to lose data, the payment for disclosure, ini bergantung kepada akta yang ada lah dalam kita punya undang-undang. So basically just be aware that what are the activities that we usually do inside the internet. The purpose, what is our purpose, and then macam-macam lagi lah nanti job hunting site, macam-macam So I skip this one. Of course there are pro and cons, yang ni kita akan bincangkan lah especially kalau dalam term paper, dan term paper kita balik topik apa ya. So the pro and cons of using internet, you cannot run away from it, especially nowadays. But what are the things that you must be aware to keep, to minimize the risk that you have while having your usage and activity in the internet. Okay. Ini public records, accessibility versus privacy. Of course, there definitely ada negative consequences and positive consequences. For negative consequences, what are the solutions? Alright. So kalau boleh limited post about privacy online, especially where you go, what you do, especially the face, the face. Kalau tak ada dapat persetujuan family members to post it, or you cannot just snap and then post it online without the consent of other people. So that's why people sometimes blur gambar orang and then baru di post dekat private Instagram ke, dekat dia punya application ke. And then buat watermarks ke ataupun restriction on access. Make it private. Itu solution. Nah, ini contoh national ID system. Kita punya my card. My card ni, you can see it's still our first country that use multiple security to masuk photo identification and biometrics. And then ada built-in computer chip juga in the my card. So kalau first hilang, it costs you 100. Second time, it costs you 300. The third time, it costs you 1,000. To some probably you can see the cheap, the penalty is cheap. Tapi immigrants, they pay 1,000 for my card. For them, this is luxury to them. So the first loss, you don't have to make police report. But the second loss, you have to make police report. Dan police report pun, you tak boleh nak buat palsu because otherwise you akan dakwa pula atas report palsu. So that's how importance of you punya my card. Alright, yang ini kita ada having the smart card will probably, this is on privacy risk, having the smart card will probably increase that because the attraction is there. There is a lot of personal information stored on card, including buying patterns, which could attract, or cloning syndicates. This is according to industry analyst Jeffrey Zwaki is a hub. So the Consumers Associations of Penang has argued that the card make individual personal and confidential information too vulnerable, and has recommended that the Proposed Personal Act Protection Act ni, ini sebab initiate ni, the Personal Act. It was taken on 2001, Personal Act in 2010. This is the initiative lah. So the initiative on what we getting today, especially on my card dan juga the Act, Personal Data Protection Act. Alright. And for children, especially for those who are underage, of course, exposing them too early in the internet causes a lot of risk. So on the internet, kita tak boleh filter the content, but we can filter. Kalau YouTube tu adalah aspect of filter dia, but you cannot leave the children what we call it, surf the internet. The word surf I'm looking at. Surf the internet without guidance. You must somehow be with them, check on them on how they use the internet. So nowadays, the way I see it lah sekarang ni, pada peringkat sekarang ni, ibu bapa kerap memberi device awal, contohnya tablet, phone, terlalu awal kepada kanak-kanak yang antara 3 tahun, 4 tahun, 5 tahun, 6 tahun. In fact, when this is now currently lah happening, memang young parents lah, the way I see, probably because lebih baik bagi children sebab nak make it them quiet, behave. But then it's actually taking away dia punya focusability. Especially during makan pun, some parents bagi anak tengok handphone sebab nanti dia orang tak gerak, kita pun boleh makan. But actually it lost some sort of manner, especially table manner. Manner, adab waktu makan. Even though at the child age, you shouldn't, pada saya lah, you shouldn't give them quite early. Tapi orang kata mungkin, oh sekarang ni memang macam tu, you tak boleh elak, kena macam tu. But I kind of disagree. Because ni yang kita nak. Jangan terlalu awal expose with the uh, the ability of internet, because they are unable to filter. They don't know what's right and wrong. They don't know to decide. Kita yang kena decidekan untuk mereka. So exposure them in such early age membuka lagi pintu-pintu ruang, peluang untuk such an disadvantage punya material lah. And then of course physical danger, pedophiles, memang kita dah tengok banyak kes banyak kes high profile, gambar kanak-kanak yang diambil. Pada kita mungkin tak ada benda lah, pada parents mungkin tak ada benda, tapi people with this crazy mind, dia penuh So kalau boleh elakkan. And then bullying. Bila ada content yang kita tak nak, ataupun people mula buat online threats, online bully, by exposing, membuka satu lagi kaedah untuk membuli. So ni yang kita nak elakkan. And then of course illegal behaviour, illegal activity, and of course personal information. Alright, so from the statistic in the digital society, we know that 1 out of 3 internet user worldwide is a child. It's very, very high. 1 out of 3. Ya, kalau kita sini ada 30 orang, 30 lebih orang, so bayangkanlah kanak-kanak tu berapa? 1/3. It's very, very high. Around half of all 11 to 16 years old in the European Union, Euro, EU, has encountered one or more of them frequent internet risk. So we are exposing the youngsters to the risk. And unfortunately, they don't have the ability and the knowledge to manage the risk compared to the younger one, to the older one. So these are the infographic. So how to protect child privacy online? So there are 6. This is one of it. This is one of it. There are a lot of other juga yang give some sort of guideline. I think this is, I'm not sure this is from the textbook or not. I think maybe there is from the textbook, but the infographic maybe not from the textbook. So you must check your children's content. Kalau macam saya dulu, if my children want to look at the YouTube, make sure they use your account so you can track the history. What are the channel that they go to, and what are the content they look to. Tapi sekarang ni mostly of them dah besar, so you make sure that you check their phone sometime. Once in a while, check their phone. Otherwise, kita kena jagalah benda ni. As Muslim, kita kena jaga. So there are 6 internet safety tips. 1, keep your password secret, of course, except from parents. Parents must know. Don't talk to people that you don't know. Don't give out your phone number. Close and tell an adult when you see something bad online. Ask before you download. Only say or share nice things. So sometimes kids, they don't know how to justify between good and bad things. So you always need to keep it checked. Alright, kita pause sekejap dalam 1 minit. Ini pun dah take 1 hour about. Is there any question until now? Kalau dalam textbook ni, privacy chapter 2 ke chapter 3? Lupa macam tu lah, chapter 2 or chapter 3. So you boleh refer the digital textbooks. Ada soalan tak?
Nanti madam share yang latest slide.
Berbeza ke yang dalam new future?
Tak sama.
Tak sama ya? Hopefully I use the current one. Okay, nanti saya share, no problem. Saya rasa saya tak upload lagi rasanya ni. Dalam new future pun tak ada lagi rasanya. Akan di-share, no worries. Okay, next kita go to the next topic. It's protecting privacy. How do you protect your privacy right now? I think most of you are Instagram user DP ni pun kalau boleh tukarlah your picture. Janganlah gambar kucing, gambar apa tu, awan. Ke you ada set auto. You all lagi terror lah. Okay. So, how do you protect your privacy? I bet you all ada Instagram kan? How do you protect your privacy while using the Instagram contohnya or Facebook?
Tak share location.
Tak share location, that's very good. Tak share location. Then
berhati-hati bila nak post.
yeah. Actually tak salah nak menggunakan application macam tu Cuma kalau boleh kita ada purpose lah. Bertujuan. Tujuan tu kena, the intention must be good. And then kalau boleh penggunaan dia tu pun the intention to use pun kena good. Yang kalau boleh jangan letak saya dulu sekolah tadika di sekian-sekian, sekolah ni di sekian-sekian. People might use it for their best interest. We never know. Itu antara sedikit lah how you protect your privacy. So kalau dalam individuals, that's individuals. Once in organisation, make sure you don't share your staff number, for example, your staff number, your staff ID, your salary. It's considered privacy. Once you dah masuk alam pekerjaan, you can say, oh, salary is privacy. And then you don't tell everything about your life with your colleagues. Be selective lah. Be genuine, but then be selective on what to share with other people, because sometimes we never know what other people thinks about us. Kalau contohnya kalau dalam textbook dia ambil contoh, programmers provide free privacy protection software on the web. PRC ni kalau dalam textbooks tu adalah Professional Regulation Commission. Provide excellent information resources. Professional Regulation Commission. Provide excellent information resources. Ini boleh rujuk textbook. Ethics stands for electronic. Kalau Google memang you akan dapat menilai lah, nanti kalau dalam textbook tu electronic privacy information center, informs the public, file lawsuits and advocate for better privacy protection. Yang ini contoh yang ada daripada USA lah. For customers aware of the problems and you able to aware also about the potential solution. More careful about information that we give out. Macam tadi kawan kata tak share semua information dalam Facebook ataupun Instagram. More careful about information that consider the privacy policies of business and websites that we use or visit. Jangan setiap website yang pergi tu perlu give information, you pun bagi. So be careful. For business manager, learn and implement techniques to respond to the privacy demands of customers. Design system with privacy protection in mind, including protective features. So, siapa yang buat e-commerce tu, you kena aware apakah ciri-ciri privacy protecting issues yang you nak letak dalam sistem e-commerce yang ni. So, the privacy enhancing technologies for user, kita ada browser that ada option alert user whenever website is about to store as cookies. Kita boleh block download software yang boleh block pop-ups, spyware blocker, anonymizer, and of course registration and password. And then encryption is a type of encryption ni basically kalau kita nak transfer highly secretive ataupun highly important documents, then we need to transfer it dalam bentuk encrypted, we call it encrypted lah supaya dia tak travel dalam internet tu dalam bentuk yang easily recognizable. Dia akan give it a chunk, tukar dia punya format structure, then they release to travel inside the internet. And then of course you have to have some sort of key to encrypt, and then you also have to provide a key to decrypt. To decrypt meaning when they travel and you want to gather back the documents, it will organize according to what it is encrypted before. So we call it decrypt. So usually online transaction banyak guna encryption. And of course, while online tu, you don't give TAC number to other person. TAC means very highly secretive. Tak, jangan even in fact bank pun minta TAC pun you tak boleh bagi. Yang ni boleh baca lah. Business tool and policy protecting for personal data. Rights and law. Kita ada several act yang tadi saya petik hanya Akta 709 Akta Perlindungan Data Peribadi 2010. Kita ada juga computer crime yang nanti akan masuk bab chapter computer crime. Tapi untuk chapter ni kita ada Akta 709 lah. 709. Yang ni yang contoh dalam textbook lah. We have computer software privacy. For software privacy pun terms yang dalam textbook lah. Fraud related activity in connection with computer acts. The free market view and consumer protection view. Ini banyak on e-commerce lah The free market provide freedom for customer in business to make voluntary agreement, especially shopping online, auction online, yang mudah dot my tu terpanggil apa lupa saya tu. So dia ada voluntary agreement. So they emphasize on informed consent, freedom to contract, free flow of information. And then kita ada consumer protection, kita protect consumer against abuses and carelessness. Yang mana kita emphasize on user information data. Yang ni contoh privacy regulations in European. So kalau boleh kaitkan dengan yang Malaysia nanti So kita ada fourth fair information principle ni, iaitu personal data collected only for a specific time. Kita tak guna, kita tak replicate it and kita tak repeated it. Only for that specific time. Data must be accurate and up to date. Processing data is permitted only if the person consented ambiguously. Special categories of data must not be processed without the subject's explicit consent. User must be notified of the collection and use of data about them. Processing of data about criminal conviction. Processing of data about criminal convictions is severely restricted. So this is about the fourth fair information principle. Jadi communication privacy, saya rasa saya nak, you can relate lah. Untuk Malaysia saya akta komunikasi ada sebenarnya. Akta komunikasi saya tak ingat berapa dia punya act. But we do have our own act. Contohnya dalam buku ni dia ambil the Communication Assistance for Law Enforcement Act in the US 1994. Yeah. So the law requires telecommunication provider and equipment manufacturers to allow law enforcement agency to intercept communication with a warrant. Only able to do so, but with a warrant. Able to intercept, but with a warrant. Without warrant, you cannot do it. And or the law allow you to tap phone conversation, or but expanded to voice over internet and internet traffic tapping. So tapi berada di bawah akta communication. Ni wiretapping and email protections. I'm not sure how we do it here in Malaysia. For email, contoh dalam textbook kita ada USA Patriot Act. Seingat saya lah, Patriot Act ni masa zaman George Bush ya. Jadi presiden. Around 2000, early 2000 lah, early 2000, 2001, 2002 gitu. Yeah. For what we call it? For to protect from terrorist act lah. Okay? So ni ambil contoh USA lah. So leave it as it is. Okay. Ini pun ada contoh dalam FBI requirements. Kita tengoklah dalam textbook tu. Okay, ini from another example from USA under its National Security Agency, especially for global monitoring, collection and processing of information and data for foreign and domestic intelligence. They have this high intelligence. Forensik lah. This is for encryption policy. Tadi kita cakap pasal encryption, this is encryption policy. So basically kita ada standards of policy. So the standard is provided by the methods yang kita gunakan. But nowadays it's advancement. Banyak mudahkan the encryption process. But of course dia ada policy. So basically that is, tapi saya rasa the third part tu kita tak ada lah. The final part tu iaitu the computer error and failures. We don't have that in this slide. But this is the most recent slide. Hopefully kamu baca dalam textbook bahagian computer error and failure sebab dalam, seingat saya last time saya ajar masa ICT652 benda ni ada, computer errors and failures. Alright, but now tak ada pula. Okay, so saya nak end the sessions, the recording sessions supaya kita boleh continue with question and answer if you have.